Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Matthias here, aka Der FM Scribe. And let's get going with a Let's Play series right off the bat here. And what else can it be in my return to YouTube other than the German journey? First of all, though, I want to say thank you to everyone that has already subscribed to the channel, to my new Football Manager channel, and has been so kind in welcoming me back to the fold of content creators. It's I'm really excited. I haven't been this excited for a Football Manager save in a really long time. So what can you expect from? I mean, my channel I kind of talked about it, but from this series and save, don't expect daily uploads or anything like that. I will make content how often and when I can without stressing myself out too much, but still at a relatively regular interval. Some weeks more, some weeks less, some weeks none. It's just the way life works. I'm self-employed and have 3 kids, so there's always a lot going on. But aside from that, it's not a super fancy series as far as, this technology goes. This frame's probably the most advanced I've gotten in a long time when it comes to this kind of stuff. But it's long form content. So, yeah, there will be the occasional short episodes, but my episodes tend to go a little bit longer. So, more than 15-20 minutes. So, definitely not YouTube algorithm optimized, but I don't care. The series and the episodes take as long as they take for me to tell the story or to kind of go through all the details in an episode that have to be talked about. So, German Journey. This is a journeyman save. I try to simulate as much realism into this save as I possibly can within the confines of Football Manager without completely screwing myself, of course. It will be moving around, though not necessarily every season, not necessarily 20 clubs. Ultimate goals, I will talk about here in a minute when I introduce the manager character for the series. The only caveats in this are that every club will have to be in Germany. So, no moving to England or Italy or Spain or anywhere like that. As far as national team, the only national team I would consider managing in the series is, of course, Germany. I will not manage Germany and a club at the same time because that doesn't happen. So, anymore at least. Franz Beckenbauer did do it once when he managed Germany to World Cup success in 1990, whilst at the same time also being the manager of Olympique Marseille. But that's rather rare, let's put it mildly, nowadays. So you're probably wondering why I'm starting with these guys here. Hannover 96. Zweite Bundesliga, so Hannover 96, Hanover 96, for you non-German speakers, in the second tier of German football in the Zweite Bundesliga. Well, it's late April when I'm starting this series, so obviously we've got maybe 6 months of Football Manager 2023 left. So starting in the 4th or 5th tier may not be advantageous to the length of the series, especially because I know there will be weeks here and there where I definitely will not be able to record or play. So starting a little bit higher up, I think, makes sense. Beyond that, I am looking at some of the, say, more tactically influential managers over the last 10-15 years in German football, and none of them started super low. The lowest starter was Jürgen Klopp, who started in the Zweite Bundesliga with Mainz. Other than that, you look at Julian Nagelsmann. He started in the Bundesliga with Hoffenheim. Thomas Tuchel started with Mainz right after they regained promotion back to the Bundesliga. Marco Rose started at RB Salzburg, the top team in Austria. And of course, my man, Edin Terzic, who is now in charge of Borussia Dortmund for his second stint. He took over at Borussia Dortmund, the big club, and he's been an assistant. All of these, or most of these managers I listed, have coached at the youth level, but I'm talking major senior team level. They all started at the Bundesliga level, or in Klopp's case, Zweite Bundesliga. So I figured Hannover 96, we're going to start there and start at the Zweite Bundesliga and kind of build from there. Now, I will talk about why Hannover 96 specifically here in a second. The other aspect of this series is going to be introducing German football to you guys. So that means I will be pronouncing things very German. And that's because I am German. So I hope you will forgive that and accept that and enjoy that to a certain degree. I will do my best to not overdo it with the German, but it will be there for sure. I also want to talk a little bit about German football and culture, club culture, fan culture, and then, of course, I'm going to deep dive into tactics during this series. So in this first episode, I'm going to introduce you to the manager and to the club and a little bit of the ambitions we got going forward. So first, we're going to take a close look at Hannover 96 as a club. Now, you can see up here right away is Jens Scribe. For those of you who remember my old channel, Jens Scribe was kind of the nom de guerre, the manager I used in a previous iteration of A German Journey. Jens, I just picked that because it sounded like Jürgen something J, but not Jürgen Schreiber. Well, that's a German word for scribe. So, as you can see right here, der FM Scribe. So I figured Jens Schreiber. So Jens Schreiber, his profile, he's 38 years old. He's born in Münster, which is kind of my home region. And, his favorite club, Borussia Dortmund. So the goal will be eventually to get to Borussia Dortmund, ideally as manager, and Germany. Attribute-wise, he's got Continental Pro license, but only local level footballer. The reason why I went with that is because to manage at this level in Germany, you need the pro license, Fußball-Lehrerlizenz. That's the top level. Guys like Julian Nagelsmann and so on, they had it. But they, especially Tuchel and Nagelsmann and Terzic, they didn't really have experience at playing at high levels. I mean, even Marco Rose, his highest level was Bundesliga with Mainz. Jürgen Klopp, highest level was Zweite Bundesliga with Mainz. So starting as a local level, but with the Max Continental Pro license, I think makes the most sense. Mental attributes, we've got a lot of 13s and 14s here. Adaptability, I only have it 13. I don't skew it any higher because we're not going to leave Germany. But it still helps to adapt to new surroundings. And then beyond that, the attributes are going to focus a lot on attacking. So as you can see, I put everything way down in defending, fitness, and goalkeeper. This is not Jens's strength. His strength is attacking, tactical, technical, mental, and working with young players. So that's really the focus for Jens Scribe. And we're going to have to find coaches that complement his strengths and especially his weaknesses. So getting back to Hannover 96, why Hannover? Well, one, I mean, they've got a really nice stadium here, HDI Arena, 49,000 capacity. They have won the Bundesliga twice, or not the Bundesliga, the German League in 1938 and 1954. They won the cup in 1992. I remember that it was a penalty shootout. They were in the second tier and they beat Bundesliga side Borussia Mönchengladbach in that shootout. It was it was a boring match until you got to the shootout. So do remember that. The just so you know, the skin I'm using is from FM23. So link down in the description. You can just subscribe to that through the workshop on Steam. There you can also get my extended German database, not mine, but it's from the German community Meister Trainer Forum. German FM community has been doing this for ever and a day. Link also down in the description. So we have playable down to the Oberliga, which is the 5th tier. And that gets us a lot of the second teams, a lot of the regional cups, things like that, which are really important for player development. So the second teams actually play, because in Germany, the second teams play in a league. So in the competitive pyramid. And so it's important to have that. So again, why Hannover 96? Well, they are a traditional team with a lot of history, founded in 1896. They have an interesting situation to start with. Their owner, Manfred Kind, is actually actively trying to sell the club. You can see that here. Is that in Club Vision? There you go. Board alert, owner looking to sell. So due to the owners looking to sell the club, there's basically no 5-year plan. So there's a little bit of uncertainty there. They also want you to gain automatic promotion to the Bundesliga in season 1, a very competitive Zweite Liga. They want you to be competitive in the DFB Pokal, play entertaining football, and sign German players as favored, but not required or desired. Required is to work within the budget and to gain automatic promotion. The supporters, they want you to finish above Braunschweig, which is the major rival, which I think we can do, and reach the Zweite Bundesliga playoffs. So that means finish third. But because it's required to gain automatic promotion, top 2 spots are the key. So beyond that, also financially, yeah, there's just under 9 million euros in the bank. However, they also have that amount of money as net debt. Actually, that's their net debt. Their original debt was 29. They've got 17.75 remaining. They'll be paying back 325K till 2027. So there are constraints there financially, and I just found that an intriguing powder keg to start within. So the pressure is really high right away to succeed, to at least gain promotion. They're going to sell the club at some point, maybe, whilst Jens is here at the club. If that happens, well, then who knows what's going to happen. So I kind of wanted that little bit of drama, and Hanover gave that ability for that pressure cooker, that drama right off the bat. If we look at the schedule now, it starts really early. I mean, it's the 13th of June, 2022 right now. On the 15th of July, the first match away against 1. FC Kaiserslautern is coming. So, it's going to come thick and fast. And as such, we don't have a ton of time here for preparation. I have already gone in and done some friendly proposals. Those will probably all come through with Jena, Wuppertal, AGF, and Bochum. And then already in there were Cluj and Baník Ostrava to kind of test us. So, we'll get 6 friendlies in before things get going against Kaiserslautern. Things come in thick and fast. If we look at the Zweite Bundesliga right now, go into the competition, 18 teams. For those who are not aware, it's 34 matches. Pretty straightforward. The German leagues have pretty good finances. So, if we gain promotion, that'll be really, really good. But it's a competitive league overall. Relegated sides are Bielefeld and Fürth. But we are in the same league as Fortuna Düsseldorf, who are pretty good. And, of course, Hamburg, HSV. They are a major one. We look at the season preview. We are slated to finish second, but Düsseldorf, Nürnberg, Bielefeld are right in around us, just below, and Hamburg clearly the favorites. Now, the other kind of key component now, you saw in the beginning when I mentioned that Jens Scribe is starting at that local footballer quality level. That does mean managerial support is going to be poor because of the lack of experience. That ratchets up that difficulty and adds more pressure to it. So what's going to happen should Jens Scribe get sacked here from Hannover? Well, look for a new job, and it could be anywhere in Germany. It could be Bundesliga, Zweite Bundesliga, Dritte Liga, Regionalliga, maybe even Oberliga, all the way down to that. So, we could have to drop down before we rise back up. But ideally, not get sacked right away and gain promotion. So what are some of the rules of the save? Well, staff does play a role. As far as responsibilities go, the director of football, he's going to take over new signing press conferences just because I can't be bothered. All other press conferences, Jens Scribe will take, as well as training. However, anything to do with the second team or the youth team, that's delegated to the coaches. They're going to do all the training. They're going to do all the individual training, not taking over that. We're not building one club. And realistically speaking, first team managers in the Bundesliga, they're not going to look at the under 19s and adjust their training. That's what that staff is for. Equally, Jens Scribe is going to have full control over the first team staff, however, delegates all control to the second team and under 19 staff to his staff. So his director of football and technical director. Director of football is also going to be setting all the scouting. So the scouting assignments are going to come through that. That leads me into it. I am using attribute masking It's the way I prefer to play it. On top of that, I'm not going to use the player search screen except for looking at transfer listed, loan listed, or out of contract players, because those are things you could just go on your phone onto Transfermarkt and look it up yourself. Jens is proactive enough for that, but everything else has to come from the scouts and the scouting assignments as set by the director of football. So no searching for a left back. It's just looking for transfer listed, loan listed, or out of contract players. Other than that, it all has to come from that. I think other than that, the other thing as far as contract renewals, I'm going to delegate that to the director of football. It's not something the manager is going to get involved with, except if the director of football is unable to reach an agreement and it's a player that Jens deems important to his plans, and then the manager is going to step in and have a kind of a chat with him. Oh, and by the way, this is not a Hannover 96 scarf. The colors kind of work. We look at club info, here, the black and green. But this is actually a Poison Münster scarf. Poison Münster just recently in real life got promoted back to the Dritte Liga, so very, very excited about that. So what we're going to do today is talk a little bit also about the squad itself. I have, of course, gone in and taken a closer look at the squad, done a little bit of pre-analysis, all done here in writing, notebook form. I guess I'm old enough and old school enough that is the direction I want to go, and it just helps me. I don't know why. It's the way I prefer to do it. But the squad overall is pretty strong. We are going to go with a 4-2-3-1, but I'm not going to do the tactics today. Tactics is going to be in the next episode because I feel like that's got to be its own dedicated episode. But some of the highlight players, we're just going to go through the players real quick. And so you kind of get an impression of who we have, which will lead then into the tactical creation in the next episode. So again, I am using the FM23 skin, so it may look a little different than what you have. And yes, my frame and picture covering up a few things, but nothing overly important. So, Ron Robert Zila, I can already tell you right now, he's going to be our starting keeper. He's really good. He's 33 years old, so he still has quite a few years ahead of him. Sweeper keeper, he could play. His passing and first touch aren't great, but his composure and decisions are good. So overall, that's the direction we want to go. And again, we'll go into tactics in the next episode. Bright, RMB, he's on loan from FC Bayern for the season. He's a good young center back. Center back is an area that we need to strengthen. Need to get one player in for the right side, because most central defenders at Hanover right now prefer to play on the left side, and as such, it's not ideal. We need some more on the right hand side. Maximilian Bayer, also on loan from Hoffenheim. You can see he's kind of your attacking player. Striker, can play on either wing. Then we've got Max Bezushkov, kind of your central midfield playmaker. Pretty good there. Julian Börner, he will be, spoilers, starting left-sided center back, 31 years old. Overall, pretty good. Lacks a little bit in the acceleration, but other than that, pretty solid. He's actually got passing and vision. Technique and first touch at 10. Average, it's good enough for what I want to do. Yannick Deem, pretty good right back. Overall, good acceleration and pace. One thing you'll notice here in fitness and stamina, I think a lot of players with really high fitness and stamina attributes, and that's fantastic given what we want to do. Again, next episode, tactics. Ekin Çelebi, he's a left back, just going to be the backup there. At 22, he's pretty good. He can still develop a lot. He likes to play way out of trouble, which I really don't enjoy at a left back. But he's good all around, I have to say. Could be faster, but he's a good backup. Sebastian Ernst, he will eventually be the starting, say, number 10. Again, we're going to play in a 4-2-3-1. But right now, he's out with a damaged Achilles tendon another 4 to 5 months. So it's going to be a while before any of us get to see Sebastian Ernst playing for Hannover. Antonio Foti, he's on loan from Frankfurt. He's going to be kind of our backup player here at the number 10 position. I don't really like starting loan players, but if you have to, you have to, especially if they're loan players I inherit. For now, he'll just be who he is as a backup. Next up, Sebastian Kerk. He's going to start in that number 10 role. Spoilers again. Another thing we have some pretty good set piece takers and 3 guys who are really good at long throws. So set pieces are going to be really important. We've got some that like long range free kicks, and some that he likes long range free kicks and curls ball, which are great for set pieces, free kicks, and corners respectively. So I'm going to focus more on set pieces than I usually would with Hannover. Derek Köhn, he's going to be a starting left back. He's just an absolute speed demon, but he also has 15 stamina and 16 natural fitness. I mean, he can just run all day. Good crossing. His marking isn't great. His positioning isn't great. And his concentration I'm not a fan of. But at 23, he's really good. And just his pace can help us out. And tactically, make a few adjustments to kind of make up for his lack of defensive strength. Luka Kranjic, he's going to be a backup central defender, but he's out for 3 to 5 weeks with a fractured toe. So don't expect to see him until maybe week 2 or 3 of the season. Fabian Kunze, he is kind of your prototypical ball winner. Again, great physicals, great mentals, decent enough technicals for what I want him to do. Enzo Leopold, 21 years old. Him I really, really like. He's kind of your midfield dynamo. Going back and forth. 13 passing, 13 vision. He's not exactly a playmaker, but I think I can make him into that in alternating with Bezushkov for kind of that deeper, double pivot playmaker role. Monyu Momulu, he is 20 years old. He's not bad. I mean, he's going to be a backup. He's definitely not a starter, but he can play on either wing for us. Say Muroya, he's going to be the starting right back. Again, fitness, stamina, and pace, really, really good. Okay defending, but he's got 15 long throws. Again, like I said, we're going to play with long throws. We're going to use set pieces a lot, at least with Hannover, which I'm really, really looking forward to, having a team built for that. We also have an above average, very tall, physical, strong team with good heading and jumping reach. So look forward to playing around with that a little bit. Phil Neumann, he's going to be our starting right-sided central defender. He's also a little bit more of a fullback. He's got pretty good mentals, great physicals. His technicals are 12, 13. It's okay. It'll do, I think, for Zweite Bundesliga. If we gain promotion, then may need an upgrade there. We'll see, but we need to bring in another central defender to fill in that right side from occasionally. Don't have a lot of money to spend. Got a target. We'll see if he comes in. Håvard Nielsen, Norwegian international, 14 caps, 2 goals. He is projected to be our starting center forward. Not bad. I mean, he's got great pace, not great acceleration, but he's got good physicals, good mentals, slightly above average, so 12s in all his key technicals. And he places shots. He'll be a good force for us as a central forward. Gael Ondua, he's going to be a backup. He already says here he's leaving on a free transfer, so, but he'll be here for this season. Louis Schaub, here's one that I'm really looking forward to. This is his first season in Hannover. And yeah, he can play anywhere in central midfield. He can play on either wing. He also curls balls, places shots, plays 1-2s. He can kind of be that dynamic. I'm looking at him as an inverted winger in a creative role coming in off that right-hand side. I think could be really, really interesting for us. Sebastian Stolze, backup player, good physicals, pretty average in terms of mentals and technicals. He's got good mentals for a pressing game, which is obviously what I want to do. If you haven't guessed that when I'm mentioning certain little things, but we'll get into that again in the next episode, of course. Then Cedric Teuchert, Another good striker. He may beat out Hovat Nielsen, but I have another role for him in mind. And that's because we have somebody else in Nicolo Tresoldi, 17 years old. You see his market value is 6.2 to 9.6. He's really, really good. For a 17-year-old, I mean, core attributes in mental, physical, and technical, all 12 and above. I'm really happy. He's going to be the backup striker. Yes, Teuchat can do that as well. Got some ideas again, also with Maximilian Bayer that we have on loan. But he could be really, really interesting for the future. And again, one thing I want to do here in this series is also occasionally maybe bring players from previous clubs with me and staff members. So Nicolo Tresoldi, this is one we're going to keep an eye on during the course of the save. Leo Weinkauf, backup. He's just going to be a backup goalkeeper. Hendrik Weidand, definitely going to sell him. He's been at the club a long time, since 2018, really coming through their second team. For the first team, you can't see this because it's behind my frame, but he is in 115 appearances, scored 22 goals. So he's not exactly prolific. He's okay. Kind of want to sell him, get a little bit extra cash in there. Oh, and free up 798K in per annum wages. So again, I'm using the very German annual salaries, not weekly or monthly. So there you have it. A quick run. Quick. Wasn't too quick, but a run through the squad, run through the club, the goals and targets here of the series. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, long form content. I'm a little bit rusty, so please bear with me as I get my groove in. Let me know your thoughts on the squad, on the series. Leave comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, I am Der FM Scribe. I'll talk to you soon.